Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I get asked a lot if airbags are reliable, or what airbags are associated with leaks and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you, you do get leaks if not installed by the right person, or even just a new person that's doing installs can actually do this correctly if they use a proper tools and proper technique to actually get all stuff sealed up and check for leaks while doing this initial setup. That's basically all it is. I've ran airbags on the wide body Lexus since 2012. I'm sorry, no, I wouldn't see much 2012, so 2011. I've been running airbags on the car, the same exact setup. Nothing has been touched, and I have never had a leak until just the other day. I just actually checked. I went up and aired up the car, and the bags are old, so I think one of them might have a small tiny leak in it because it's cracked and old and the cars have been driven. But that's about it. This car, on the other hand, this is a perfect example of I'm not sure if this guy had any idea what he was doing when they installed it. I'm not sure who installed it. I know the customer himself. This is the customer's car that I'm about to show you. I know the customer himself did not install this. I guess his son, he gave his car to his son, and his son was the one that took it somewhere and got it done, and then this is just, it's a mess. So in the back, you should only have a wire coming straight in to either a relay or a junction, which it's a junction would be you have multiple wires going to that one junction. In this case, we have it going to the fuse. For the fuse, again, this that's loose. That's loose. Again, I haven't even started taking this car apart. That wire goes to the switch, which shows signs of overheating, and which goes to this little, I'm not even sure what that is, but also all this shit's loose. And then if you can see back there, hopefully you can see those are wire nuts for home. This time's gonna have to be bolted down a lot better. So yeah, that's just I would say part of what I found here in the trunk. Here, that's metal. Eventually with time, that's gonna cut that wire, and like I said, that fuse is in the back. If that fuse is here, or here, whatever, if you have wire just coming from there to the fuse and then from the fuse back, if there's a short here and the fuse is here, the fuse is going to catch that and it's going to blow the fuse. Then you won't have an issue with the wire overheating or anything like that, and then potentially catching the car on fire. So yeah. Let's go here where it's a little more quieter. So the issue why the car battery is running out, it's because everything is connected directly to the battery. This switch I just showed you here, this switch right here, that switch is used to turn on and off the relays. So those relays should be hooked up to the ignition. So basically this system should only work when the key is in the accessory or in the on position, or when the car is running. Anything after that, the whole system should be shut off. So what's happening is this car came in because the majority of the issue was that he had leaks. The car would sit outside for about half an hour and the car was on the ground. So that's a leak. It's either going to be from the valves, or it's going to be from the bag, or from the line. Maybe one of the lines got snagged. So now that I'm looking at that, there's no rubber garments for the electrical. There's probably none for the airline. So the airlines are probably cut, which still have to be replaced. Other than that, that's going to be the issue with the starting. So I'm going to have to literally yank this whole entire system out and start from scratch, which I'll walk you guys through the process. So I'm going to go ahead and yank everything out and start figuring out if we need to order any parts, run down to the store and get any other parts for it, which everything should be here except for some of these steel fittings. That's a steel fitting. I don't recommend using steel fittings because they do rust over time. So brass is fine. So we can work with that, brass or aluminum, or even galvanized. That's galvanized right there. But yeah, let's get to it. So it's looking like it's going to be a full reinstallation of everything. Wiring, new lines, new fittings. It's going to be everything except for installing the bags. So, alright, guess we're going to get back into it. I don't know if you can see that, but I can actually see the suspension from the truck. That's not supposed to happen. Basically what they did, they just took like a drill bit, like a big size drill bit, drilled a hole, and they just kind of like ovaled it around. And didn't even put no type of protection, so all this is sharp metal. And then you can see they didn't even pick up their mess, so that's all metal right there. The other side's worst. Holy even bigger. I see this a lot on cars. I fixed actually a couple of them. If you follow me on Instagram, that BMW with the gold wheels had the same issue, and that one actually came with cut lines. So I just feel like all this stuff like this kind of gives air suspension like a bad name, or starts making people think like the air suspension is not reliable when it really is. Like I said, it just has to be done correctly. When shit gets done half-assed like this, it's gonna give you issues. It really is. I mean, all right, got the wheel off, got the car on the jack. So this is on the other side of the truck. You can see that's where they did the cut. Another hole, and then it goes to the actual bag itself. So it's actually cut right there. This one is leaking from there. Just, I guess the angle that they have it in is just not good. So, alright, I guess we're gonna have to maybe open this up a little bit, put a little garment in there, if that's the only way we can actually get the line out of the pocket there. Alright guys, so I just want to show you guys what I got going on right now. So I just put a set of jumper cables from the car battery up to here. See it from the back here. I just hooked them to a positive and the negative to a negative, and that'll kick on the compressor. So this is just one way that I do it, just to check the pressure, make sure everything's going to be steady. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up to full pressure, which is the 145, and then I'll shut off at 145. It's not gonna shut off by itself, so you gotta disconnect it. And after it's at 145, I'll go ahead and I'll throw some water with some soap on here on pretty much on all the unions. Every connection that you did shouldn't be leaking, especially out of this one. It shouldn't be leaking out of this one either. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it and see what it looks like. Alright, so I just filled it up to 100. It was taking a little bit too long just with one compressor. One way to check this is you can let this sit overnight, and if it's, if it stays at 100, then you have no leaks. But you just want to do it kind of quick, so this is just water with like a few drops of Dawn dish soap. What you can do is you can just spray it around there. And then if there's a leak, it should be blowing bubbles. So just spray everything around here. So all of these look pretty good. Another connection is this right here. So no leaks there either. So the final connection that I made was these right here for the compressor. And look at them starting to bubble it, but it's just the sealant. Cool. So based by the looks of it, looks like there's no leaks on it based by the spray test. It is at 100, so I'll leave it there overnight. The drain plug, I did have to tighten it up a little bit harder with the plier, but I might just replace it. So I'll let this sit overnight and then I'll continue. Alright guys, so it's the next day and got everything all done up on the car, so I just want to show you guys what's my method and how I do my stuff. So right here behind the wheel, you guys can see I actually bought these bulkhead fittings that go through walls and stuff like that, and it's a push to connect fitting, so it accepts these lines here. Basically just goes through the wall, goes around. That bracket is just hold the line a little bit out the way. It doesn't hit anything because I feel like this rubber just rubs up against it, but I was just afraid that one day it was gonna snag it or something, which wouldn't be an issue, but still. So coming down to the bottom, I drilled a hole with a rubber garment, and as I showed you guys earlier, I drilled a hole in the bracket and I put a 90 degrees on the back as well. Moving to the bottom, that's the way it's bolted down. Before it wasn't bolted down at all. Here in the trunk, you can see. So this car came in with 2 compressors. Unfortunately, it is leaving only with 1 because the other one was dead when it arrived. If you guys around to the back so you guys can see it. This is what it looks like in the back. Just 2 valves, 1/3 line out. Safety valve that the car did not come in with. This is very important that you guys have that. What this does is, if for some reason this pressure switch right here fails and the compressor does not shut off, basically your air tank it's going to become a bomb. So this pressure release valve will release all the air, not all the air, partially all the air, at 165 psi. The switch is rated for, I believe, 150, so it gives you 15 psi more in the air, and then it'll pop open and let the air out. If that goes off, lets you know that there's an issue. You can always pull over to the side of the road and disconnect the fuse for the compressors or for the reels, whatever it is. So that's a good thing to have. I highly recommend, if you guys don't have that, I highly recommend you guys get one of those. Other than that, over here, this is my 12 volt coming from the battery. The fuse was moved towards the front of the car. This is just a block, distribution block. So it's a 4 gauge wire. The blog just gives you options. If you want to run a second compressor, you can always connect it there. You don't got to run extra wires and stuff like that. Obviously the Vire compressor, 444, and the Vire relay, and then that's pretty much it. These are the wires for the switch up front. Another issue that I did find is that valve, the dump valve, it was sticking. So when you literally just tap it to go down a little bit, it would stay in the down position. So it would just let the car all the way down. So there was no fine tuning. If you wanted to drop the car like about an inch, it wouldn't give you the option. Basically just took it apart and cleaned it out, and it's good to go now. So these lines right here, that's from the bulkhead that I showed you guys. So that goes in to a T right there, and then up and loop, and then that goes to the center. So basically this is the up valve, so lets air in and it raises the car up. It doesn't go to the dump valve because the dump valve is always closed until you release it. Then it releases the air into the trunk. So show you guys up front. So I got the battery on the tether right now because it was a little bit low. So on these, this little strip is there for when you want to add something. Basically, you just drill a hole all the way through the plastic underneath it. You put a bolt and a nut, and then you can see here it goes underneath it to the fuse. The fuse, remember that this fuse was in the trunk, now it's up here in the front. Actually, this is a different fuse. The other one was kind of melted already. Then it just goes through, rubber garment goes down. There's another rubber garment between the dashboard and the firewall. Then that just shoots straight over all the way to the back. Take you guys inside. So this is something that I didn't show as well. Hopefully you guys can see it on camera. Basically, the cable, this cable right here, let's pop it out. So this cable right here, that's what gives a positive to the 12 to the valves. I'm sorry, to the switch. The way that they had it, they just had a piece of well, it's just a connector pretty much, and they just jammed it into one of those teeth, and they just ran towards the back. Just so you guys know, they do sell these like at O'Reilly's and stuff like that. I bought some at O'Reilly's. So it's a fuse holder. So it's a dual fuse holder. So it takes its place of whatever, if you don't have an extra spare spot there, it takes its place, and then the original would go there. And then this is a fuse that goes to whatever it is that you're gonna try to power. These are like about $5 at O'Reilly's. So that one acts just like the fuse, and it goes there, just like that. So now that's also on a fuse, which it was not. And then obviously it goes to the switch. It goes on this panel here. So basically that's it. This car is pretty much done. All bright. Alright guys, so just like that, the car is now done. Just gotta put the wheel on and then call up the customer, have him come pick up the car. In the meantime, I did have a customer come by and dropped off an intake manifold for a J37 3.7 Acura TL Type S and some valve covers. So I will have some powder coat content, probably just one video. Oh, and the wheels for the Mustang as well. So we do have a little bit of powder coat I'm sorry, I can't even talk. A little bit of powder coat videos coming soon. So after this car is done, I'm gonna clean up the garage a little bit, move over those shelves like I had to do originally. Then we can either get the Mustang in here, probably the Mustang. I'm gonna get the Mustang in here. We could fit up those front fenders, powder coat the wheels, and then that thing should be ready for paint. So hopefully maybe we can send that off to paint. Meanwhile that's off in paint, we'll bring in the wide body Lexus and we can start fitting off those rear fenders, because rear fenders are going to take a little bit longer since we do have to box up the door jambs and the door. So that's going to take a little bit of more time, and there will be a lot of content on that going on, since that's probably like the build that we're going to try to focus on the most. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Catch you guys on the next video.